Okay, welcome to another Simple Invest video. So today I'll be going through the trading results, winning and losing trades for the 14th of December 2020. And today I've limited myself to just 4 trades, only on the USD Japanese yen pair, because that is my conclusion from my previous analysis, which is to focus on just the USD Japanese yen pair because it trends quite well. It has pretty big movements on the 5-minute chart, and so it's quite suitable for my strategy of trying to trade breakout trends on the 5-minute charts. And also yeah, so basically that's it. Okay, so let's look back at our first trade of the day. The first trade of the day was at 1:40 a.m. and that was a loss. So basically when I woke, so at the beginning of the day there was this breakout on the downside, which I was still asleep, didn't join in, and then there was this breakout on the upside, which I don't know whether I was awake at this time, but I did not join this as well because it didn't seem like it had breakthrough. And then I joined this. So when there's another breakthrough on the downside here, I joined it because previously in my previous backtest, I wanted to look for reversal of trends. Like this could have been possible reversal of trend downwards, because this was a downtrend, this was an uptrend, and this could have possibly been a downtrend. So I joined in and I lost. Okay, so there was a losing trade. So this did not work out. So I waited until later in the day, and there was another breakout on the downside. So technically, actually I should not have considered this a breakout, because there were two lowest price points here, actually three, 1, 2, and 3. So there was actually a pretty good support level here, significant support level here, where prices keep bouncing up. So I should not have treated this as a breakout on the downside. So that was a lesson learned today. I should have waited for a more clear breakout of trend that breaks out from the most significant, the closest support and resistance levels, as in the candle should close below this support level before I trade this as a breakout, or the candle should close above this resistance level before I trade this as a breakout. So my mistake here, treating this as a breakout, and I lost this as well. So take note that currently the trading strategy I'm using is once I find a breakout, once I find a breakout, I put a take profit target of 100 points and a stop loss target of 50 points, which is actually normally 10 pips and 5 pips accordingly. Okay, then there was this which I did not join in because since I lost these 2 trades, I wanted to take it cool and don't want to enter too many trades. So I believe I was not watching the charts at this point of time, which is a good thing because like I mentioned, for this analysis for this second losing trade, this is not really a breakout because it didn't really break out from this resistance level. And it shows, so it hit the resistance level here. You can see that there's 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, which is the resistance very clear resistance level here, and the price touches the resistance level and actually started going downtrend. So this was very strong resistance. So downtrend moved on, and I was actually away from the charts. I believe I was actually taking my lunch and stuff like that. I did not notice this breakthrough on the downside. This is a significant breakthrough on the downside because it broke through this three to four support resistance points, this level where there was 4 bounce back of the prices for actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 points on this previous price charts where the price bounded up. So this was a significant support level. And if you count this 5, 6, and 7 as well. So there are about 7 points where the price bounded up. And this candle closed beneath this significant support level. So this was actually a clear sign that it's clear breakout on the downside. That means the support has been broken through and it might continue going down, which eventually it did, but I did not notice this, did not join this. By the time I saw it, it was at this candle here. And my entry point is so weird because I was actually playing in the middle of playing a game. I was actually playing Apex Legends competitive, and it was in the middle of which is an online multiplayer shooter, first person shooter game. So I was in the middle of a match. I got found my matchmaking found a match, and I was distracted by wanting to place this trade quickly and go back to the match, not realizing that actually the candle, even though it's going down, it actually has not closed yet. So when I was looking at it, the candle was showing a lot of white. So in my rush to place a trade, I had imagined that the candle had closed beneath the support level, and I went to place a trade. So at the lowest point of this candle, I placed a trade, and it actually bounded back up. So very fortunately, my stop loss did not trigger somehow. Yeah, somehow it did not trigger my stop loss, even though I set my stop loss to 50 points. I don't know exactly where I placed a trade, but I was very fortunate that it did not trigger my stop loss, because if you take here and you measure upwards, it's actually more than 50 points. So I could have easily been stopped out by placing my trade here. A better point to place a trade would have been here. This was a clearer sign of a breakout on continuation of the downtrend, where it break through this support level. So if I place a trade here, they would have been quite safe. Yeah, so this was a mistake, but I was very fortunate to be able to not get stopped out and to eventually take profit for my 100 points of profit. And following that, there was another breakout on the downside here. That was about 1 hour later. Yeah, 1 hour later. And so I placed this trade. So, which eventually swung back up. So it triggered my stop loss before going back down, which I took another loss again. So today I have a total of 4 trades, and 3 of which are losses, which is it's a bad day. So it's a negative overall, because for every winning trade I only win 100 points. For every losing trade I lose 50 points. So disregarding bid offer spread, this is 150 points loss, 100 points gain. But you have to take note that with bid offer spread as well as commission charges, bid offer spread is about 15 points per trade. So that is 4 trades, that is about additional 60 points loss due to bid offer spread. So then I lose 50 plus 60, so it's about 110 points of total loss, including the bid offer spread for these 3 losing trades. So this is definitely not a profitable day. It's a losing day. And some of the lessons I want to take away from here is that I did do a little bit more back testing on some other trading days, and I noticed that the first breakout is usually the strongest. For example, the breakout here is considered the first breakout. So at this point, the first breakout usually has the highest probability of me having for me to achieve my take profit of 100 points and not get stopped out. So usually the success rate from the past few days, I only back tested it on a few trading days. Okay, so from the past few trading days that I analyzed this, the winning percentage for the first breakout in the trend, so the first sign of a breakout to be a winning trade for me, that means to achieve my target of 100 points take profit and not get stopped out for 50 points, can range anywhere from 33% to 40% to 60%. So in other words, the success rate ranges from 33% to 60% if I place a trade on the first breakout of a trend, which means to say this one would have been ideal, but any further breakthroughs further along the same trend actually has a lower probability of success, which makes sense, because the first breakout of like a consolidation phase is usually the strongest, and because it's the start of a move, so there's more potential for the move to have a significant amount of pips gain, as compared to if you enter later into the trend, the direction of the trend might have lost a lot of its momentum, and there's a higher chance of whipsaw price action, such as here. So like this actually concluded the downtrend. It entered into like a sideways correction phase, sideways trend, which actually stopped out this trade. So this was actually the last move, the last gaps of this downward trend move. But if I place my trade here, this is the beginning of the downward trend move. It has the highest potential to get the biggest amount of gain. So this was actually the last gaps of the downward move, and it entered into a sideways trend, which would trigger a lot of stop losses, tight stop losses. And then this is another downward. This is a fresh new downward trend that started, which isn't very strong because you can see that it's a lot of whipsaw. So there's like a weak downward trend, and then there's another upwards trend that is starting right now. But of course, this hasn't broken through this particular, yeah, if it closes above this particular resistance level, then maybe this trend has a little bit more room to go up, but I'm not too sure. So I'll probably not be placing any more trades here because I already placed 4 trades today. I want to limit the number of trades I place in a single trading day in order not to incur too much commissions and too much commission cost or a bit of a spread cost. So okay, basically that's it. So if I'm looking back at here, would this be the first downward move of the trend? Yes. So this would have been the first breakthrough on the downside, on the shorting side. So it's the first breakthrough of the short side, and this would have been like the second breakthrough of the short side. So this doesn't have as much of a success potential as this, and this is a mistake because this is not a breakthrough at all. It has not broken through a significant support level, whereby this would have been considered the first breakthrough, and this is considered the first breakthrough as well. But in this case, it was just happened to not be a very strong continuous trend. So it's a weak trend with a lot of whipsaw action as well. So now looking at this candle, like for example, this candle, if it closes above, so this has a potential to be a strong move on the uptrend side. Like if this candle closes here or closes above, even above here, so there's a not say strong probability, but there is a stronger probability that this trend will continue upwards. So it's moving strongly right now. If we can, yeah, there's still few more minutes to this price closing. So yeah, just to show an example. So we won't be waiting for this candle to close. So anyway, that is the analysis for today, for the winning losing trades of today, which is the 14th of December 2020. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.